Hello everyone, let's see part 6 of Mahabharata. Mahamantri Vidur travelled back to Hastinapura with Kunti and Pandavas. Entire Hastinapura kingdom gave condolences to Pandu and Madri. Shakuni announced the people of Hastinapura that Maharaj Dhritarashtra decided to do Rajabhishekam to Duryodhana in other 2 days. But the people of Hastinapura were very unhappy with the news. Matter went to Bhishma. Bhishma met Shakuni and warned him for passing the false news to Hastinapura people. He also conveyed Shakuni that without Mantrimandali's approval, even a Maharaj is not allowed to take independent decision. It is not a sacred thing to do Rajabhishekam to Duryodhana, who is going in a Adharma Marga. Rajabhishekam will be done to the eldest son in the family, that is Pandu's first son Yudhishthira. And Bhishma also warned Shakuni that if the mistake is repeated, then he could burn Shakuni with his eyes, and he is quite capable to do that. Shakuni got scared by Bhishma's warning. He tried to act smart in front of Bhishma. Gandhari met her husband Dhritarashtra and conveyed that he can't take any independent decision without Mantrimandali's approval. As usual, Dhritarashtra has shown his anger on her. Meanwhile, Karna moved out of his home to take Vidyabhyasa, and he told his mother that he will return as a great valor. He has seen Kunti as a widow in the streets of Hastinapura. He was in a deep sorrow because he has recently given a grand welcome to Pandu and Kunti, but now he is unable to see Kunti as a widow. Hastinapura people took blessings of her, including Karna, with deep sorrow. Meanwhile, Shakuni continued giving poison to Duryodhana's mind against Pandavas. Kunti and Pandavas reached the kingdom and met their familians. Their familians welcomed them with deep sorrow due to Pandavas and Madri's death. Pandavas were taken to their palace. Pandavas stunned by looking into the huge palace. When they were trying to enter their palace, Kauravas stopped them to enter. They wanted Pandavas to do pranams to all 100 Kauravas. Pandavas were very angry. Kauravas ragged them. Then Bhishma entered their conversation and shown his anger on Kauravas. He asked Kauravas to do pranams to the elder children, that is Yudhishthira and Bhima. Duryodhana was not ready to do that, but Shakuni forced him to do pranams. Then Kauravas did pranams to Yudhishthira and Bhima. Duryodhana met his father Dhritarashtra with deep anger and said that it would have been better if he would have born to a worker than a Maharaj. Then Dhritarashtra promised his most beloved son that Duryodhana will be the Samrat of Hastinapura and Rajabhishekam will be planned shortly. Then Duryodhana was happy. Meanwhile, the last child and the most beloved one of Gandhari welcomed Kunti. Kunti has shown her love towards the child. Dhritarashtra asked his wife Gandhari to ask Mahamantri to plan for Duryodhana's Rajabhishekam. Shakuni listened their conversation, and he told Dhritarashtra that he wants Yudhishthira and Bhima to take sannyasa so that there is no stop for Duryodhana's Rajabhishekam. Vidura worried that if Duryodhana was made the Samrat of Hastinapura, then there would be many chances of bad things happen in the kingdom, and injustice rules the kingdom because Kauravas were going in Adharma Marga. Bhishma told Vidura that both of them need to control Adharma and need to ensure kingdom goes to the hands of a right person. Pandavas went to dining hall to take food. Bhima tried to eat a sweet. Kauravas reached there and started dragging them. The second one among Kauravas asked to take Mantri's permission to eat food, and it's a rule of the Hastinapura kingdom. Duryodhana covered his face with a cloth and seated as the minister. Bhima asked twice for his approval to have food, but that minister denied it. Kauravas wanted Yudhishthira to do pranams to the minister, but Yudhishthira noticed him as Duryodhana with his intelligence. He asked Duryodhana to allow Bhima to take food, but as usual, Duryodhana denied it. Kauravas sat in their respective positions to take food in the dining hall. Pandavas were helpless. Bhishma entered the dining hall and ordered Kauravas to arrange seating positions for Pandavas. Duryodhan and his younger brothers arranged seats for Pandavas. Bhishma also made a rule that one must not eat with their own hands. Everyone tried playing with the food, but they were unable to eat. Yudhishthira became very wise. He feeded Duryodhana with his hands. Then Bhishma praised Yudhishthira's intelligence and left from there. Pandavas feeded first 5 children of Kauravas, but Kauravas did not feed Pandavas. Pandavas went to his mother and told they were not getting enough sleep. They did not tell their mother that they did not have food. But Kunti able to notice their hunger and the issue with Kauravas. Kunti unable to sleep due to the sorrow. Dhritarashtra was doing Abhisheka to Mahadev. Bhishma and Vidura entered there. Dhritarashtra asked Vidura why he has been postponing Duryodhana's Rajabhishekam. Vidura replied that there is a long way to go. Bhishma advised Dhritarashtra to plan for Kauravas and Pandavas' education with Dronacharya. The best candidate will be made the Samrat of Hastinapura. Meanwhile, Pandavas were very hungry. They did not have food from the past 2 days. Bhima tried to eat a mango from the tree, but Kauravas stopped him to pick mango. Duryodhana fought with Bhima. He started hitting Bhima. Then Bhima was unable to tolerate Kauravas' nuisance. Then Bhima also fought with Duryodhana. Yudhishthira tried to stop Bhima, but he did not listen. Bhima lost his patience. When both of them were fighting, Bhishma entered. Bhishma entered and punished Duryodhana. Then Yudhishthira told that it's a mistake of Bhima also. Then Bhima punished Bhima also. Pandavas met their mother Kunti and told that they got this issue. But she did not listen to them completely and asked them, it may be anything, but they have to share equally among them. Pandavas smiled with sarcasm and shared the punishment equally among them. Meanwhile, Shakuni prepared poison for Bhima and asked Duryodhana to mix in a kheer and feed Bhima. Duryodhana was very happy for that. Meanwhile, Kunti got to know that Bhishma's punishment to Pandavas, and she asked her sons that Bhishma gave punishment to Pandavas. Then Pandavas told that Bhishma gave punishment only to Bhima, but she punished entire Pandavas. Then Kunti asked her sons not to leave anyone aside. The 5 brothers have to be together at all times at any cost. Then they have agreed to it. Gandhari's daughter Dushala was playing with a doll. She asked Bhima to feed the doll. Pandavas smiled at Bhima. Then Duryodhana entered with his brothers and acted smart with Bhima. Duryodhana said that not to tolerate her childishness. Bhima was shocked that how did Duryodhana become so polite with Pandavas. Duryodhana threw his sister's ball in a well and he wanted Bhima to fall in the well to take that ball. He acted smart that he himself will get down into the well and remove that ball. Then Bhima told he will do that. But Arjuna has noticed Duryodhana's smart behavior. Then Dronacharya reached there and showcased his skills and removed that doll with a stick without going into the well. Arjuna was very impressed and inspired and asked Acharya that he could learn that skill. Then Dronacharya replied to check with Bhishma once. He ran to meet Bhishma. Meanwhile, Kunti was expecting a bad thing to happen. Nakula met her and conveyed the same. He was also expecting a bad thing to happen. Meanwhile, Duryodhana invited Bhima to a special dining hall and told his brother will invite the rest of Pandavas and asked Bhima to come along with him right away. But Bhima noticed the change in Duryodhana's behavior. He said he wanted to wait till his brother's presence, but Duryodhana acted smart that if Bhima was scared to come with him, then not a problem. But Bhima immediately went to him to the dining hall at the bank of the river. Shakuni gave poisoned kheer, that means sweet, poisoned sweet to Duryodhana and asked him to feed Bhima. Bhima asked Duryodhana to taste first. Bhima acted smart. Duryodhana acted smart. He acted like he tasted that sweet but spilled the kheer. Bhima thought he tasted that kheer and had that poisoned kheer. Immediately, Bhima got fainted. Duryodhana got scared and sought Shakuni's help. Both of them tried to push Bhima into the river. Meanwhile, Nakula informed Kunti that Bhima was nowhere visible. She asked to search and find Bhima with Arjuna immediately. Arjuna reached the bank of the river by a horse ride. Arjuna searched the entire dining hall but unable to find Bhima. Meanwhile, Shakuni was hiding in the hall and asked Duryodhana to push Bhima in the river. Duryodhana, along with Bhima, fell into the river. Arjuna was able to notice only the sound of water and the movement of water, but nothing else. Duryodhana has a skill of holding his breath underwater for a long time. With this skill, Duryodhana was hidden underwater while Arjuna was entered into the dining hall on the bank of the river. Arjuna told his mother Kunti that he could not able to find Bhima anywhere. Gandhari's daughter Dushala told that she has seen Bhima going with Duryodhana. Dronacharya attended Sabha Mandap and had a discussion with Maharaj and Mantrimandal. Maharaj asked Dronacharya to relocate into the kingdom with his family to educate Kauravas. Dronacharya replied that as per tradition, students need to pursue their education in Gurukulam, but a teacher should not go to students' place. Also, he conveyed that along with Kaurava's education, his son Ashwatthama will also pursue his education, and the best student will be chosen as the Samrat of Hastinapura. Maharaj did not accept to this. He is not ready to send his children to Dronacharya's Gurukulam. Dronacharya moved out of Sabhamandap. Mahamuni Kripacharya asked Dronacharya not to miss the great opportunity of Vidyabhyasa of Kauravas. Dronacharya replied that he has chosen his student and he know who will be the upcoming king of Hastinapura. And he left from that palace. Meanwhile, Bhima's missing news reached the kingdom. Bhishma asked his army to search and find Bhima immediately. Duryodhana came to Sabha Mandap. Bhishma questioned him about Bhima. He replied Bhima did not come with him. Bhishma tried to get right answer from him, since Dushala told that Bhima was with Duryodhana. However, Maharaj defended Duryodhana. Shakuni reached the Sabha Mandap and told that he found Bhima's jewelry at the banks of the river. Everyone believed that Bhima passed away, and it has been 13 days. Everyone was in a deep depression of Bhima's death. Death ceremony was planned. Brahman children were invited for lunch in the kingdom. All Brahman children started eating food, but one Brahman child who covered his face with a cloth was eating so much with a lot of hunger, but he was not getting satisfied with the quantity of food. There is a tradition that until Brahman gets satisfied, the host is expected to keep on giving food. The serving lady informed the same to Kunti that there is no food remaining to serve that Brahmin child and to satisfy him. Kunti went to the Sabha Mandap and tried to feed a laddu to that child. Then he removed his cloth from his face. He was none other than Bhima. Bhima told what exactly happened due to Duryodhana. Underwater, Vasuki saved him and gave him a soup with which Bhima got 100 people's strength. That's why he was eating so much. Kunti and Pandavas were so angry on Duryodhana. Kunti tried to leave Hastinapura with her children. However, Bhishma stopped her and asked her not to give so much pain by leaving the kingdom, and he will look after justice of this issue. Kunti agreed to it. Bhishma went to Sabha Mandap and questioned Dhritarashtra with full of anger on Kauravas. That he did not give any invite to Mantri Mandal to discuss about Bhima's issue. Dhritarashtra requested Bhishma that not to punish his most beloved child with deep sorrow. Then Bhishma agreed, but with an alternative. Kauravas need to pursue their education in Dronacharya's Gurukulam along with Pandavas. This is an alternative which Bhishma has given to Dhritarashtra. Then Dhritarashtra agreed to it with so much pain of sending his most beloved child Duryodhana along with Kauravas. Shakuni noticed the army packing his things in a horse cart. Then Bhishma entered the place and asked him to travel back to his place immediately, and he need to replace his father in Gandhara kingdom. Then Shakuni tried to meet Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, but Bhishma conveyed that he has already took their agreement and they were fine with it. Then Shakuni travelled back to his kingdom with deep anger. The message reached Dronacharya that Kauravas and Pandavas coming to Gurukulam to take Vidyabhyasa. Dronacharya was so happy that there are many chances that he could see his children as a Maharaj. Then Pandavas and Kauravas reached the Gurukulam after taking send off from their families. This is what about part 6 of Mahabharata. In the next class, we'll see the part 7. Thank you for joining. We'll meet you in the next class.